right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. With me today, I got my full crew. We got the full crew in the building. All right, we got BFC Butler's fighting crew back. MD the Dream, Michael DeRosa, and Kyle the Butler fan. All right, boys. So Butler has started off at a 3-0 record, coming off of a 98-66 win over Chicago State. Their next matchup is going to be their first big test at SMU this Saturday at 2:00 on the good old CW, as we all obviously love watching basketball on the CW. Why not? But kind of just recapping the Chicago State's, Finley Bizjack had a big game, 7 for 11, 5 for 9 from three, including that extremely hot start where he hit one from the logo, 22 points. Great game by him. Jamie Kaiser had 16 points, including 4 for 8 from 3 points. Seemed like he had open looks all day long in the corner. Ajayi just continues to be a monster, double-double, 10 points, 11 boards. Haywood went 4 for 5 from 3 for 12 points. And then another kind of standout to me would be Xavier Robinson at 11 points, 3 steals, absolute pest on the defensive end, as he has proven to be kind of all these 3 non-conference games so far. The other big news of the night was Jalen Jackson left after getting hit in his I guess we found out it was dislocated ankle earlier this season. Sounds like he was back at practice. That's good news, everybody. It sounds like he's still questionable, but I think things are hopefully pointing towards him being participating in the SMU game this Saturday. So, Michael, I'll pass it off to you first, man. Maybe just your thoughts on the Chicago State game, anything that stood out to you. And if you want to kind of bunch that in, obviously a 3-0, but it's no secret Butler's not faced good competition, but they've blown the doors off of each of the teams. Kind of your general thoughts on Butler's start so far.
Yeah, to address the competition point overall, okay, this is updated now. It was Butler's faced the 360th best schedule in the country. I do not
Not
think
the
the
worst.
can be
Not the
too good.
worst.
Not the worst.
Not the
Not the worst. There are
worst.
5 worse. There
Not the
are
worst.
5 whole worst teams. But yeah, the one thing that I really liked was the ball movement in this game. 24 assists. At one point, it was like, all right, they had made 12 threes and like they had assisted on all of them. I don't know what that ended at. The second half, I was not keeping track of that. I won't lie to you, but I thought the ball movement was very good, especially without Jalen Jackson, all things considered. This team's sharing the ball a lot better than they did last year. Last year was a lot more ISO ball. They're sharing it more this year. Yeah, that was really kind of the main takeaway for me in this game. They beat a team that is just not anywhere near their level. It's really it for me.
I will point out one of my favorite things was that I don't know if you guys noticed, is the point guard on Chicago State did not have a name. The rest of everyone else all the other jerseys had names on it except for the point guard, who I swear I think they just picked up from the YMCA. Anyway, Kyle, how about you, man? Thoughts on the Chicago State game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that a main takeaway I've had from the last 2 games, to be honest, is just that I think that when they play real games, Stink Robinson's going to cause some issues for opposing guards, even if it's in short spurts, right? I think that these are low major guards, but he's given them hell. Like he's given them fits. And when he comes in, it's something that I knew he could do coming into the season. I guess he's way more advanced than I thought he'd be at this, but he is going to give some good guards like 5-10 minutes of real tough uh real tough sledding for them. If they get anything, they're gonna have to work for it. And sometimes he fouls, sometimes he overextends, but it's just something that I think I'm trying to think of things that we've done against these first 3 teams who we all know are terrible that will translate to playing better teams. And obviously he's not going to dominate them defensively like he has a couple of these low major guards, but he's going to give some guys trouble. And I think that the past 2 games, especially, it's just a takeaway that I've decided, like, okay, this is a tangible thing that we didn't really know for sure that we had this season that I feel like we definitely do have going forward. So that's been a positive, I think, the past couple.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was definitely a little reassuring after we just brought up how Jalen Jackson went down with the injury. BFC, what about you, man? How I know you kind of your connection went out there for a second, but just kind of your thoughts on the Chicago State game, or just thoughts in general on kind of the first 3 games before we head into this matchup versus SMU.
Yeah, I think the big thing that stood out to me, it's nice to see that Kaiser's shot is falling consistently. It hasn't just been one game, it's been all throughout the exhibitions, all throughout what we've all heard in the off season and now through the 3 first real tests. So that's not a fluke. And we knew the scouting report on him out of high school is, he's going to knock down some shots. He's going to be an awesome defender. The shot didn't translate in his first year at Maryland, and then we didn't necessarily get to see it last year. I think it's pretty evident that he was working with Butler a lot. That's something we've seen from Finley. Finley's just consistently gotten better, shoot especially open shots. Finn obviously has a little bit more off the dribble that we've seen. But I just love seeing Kaiser knock down shots. I mean, if he can shoot 44% from three for the year, which is where he is now, that is just a real weapon. And it's a weapon where, last year or in years past where we've had some players that are shooting that percentage, but then being a little bit detrimental on defense, it's kind of the opposite. If you've got a true 3-and-D guy who then can put it on the floor and create a little bit for himself too, that would be just a massive kind of, finding a little present there that didn't get to play in his first year would just be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he was like, I tweeted, I think he was like the biggest like unknown, quote unquote. Obviously, people translating up to the big conferences is obviously kind of an unknown, but just truly with the injury and everything, we needed him to be kind of a consistent guy. So 100% agree with you. I'm just going to throw out some stats from the first three games heading into today. Obviously, there's games going on right now, so it'll be a little different. But I think a big question mark this year was whether or not we had enough shooting on the perimeter, as BFC just alluded to. Kaiser's shooting great. We know Finley's going to shoot great. Haywood's shooting great. We're shooting 38.5%, which is 77th in the nation, which honestly is very respectable. And, that as long as we can continue that clip, we're going to be fine. Now, some of these numbers are skewed because, again, the competition and also like pace of play, which do you guys see that we are like third fastest in pace of offensive play, which I was kind of, it makes sense. You face Indians, but I feel like some of that might actually be designed, maybe, which I guess I'm just not used to because we played so slow with like John, everyone. I don't know. It just felt a lot slower, but 46.3 rebounds per game. That's 10th in the nation. Love seeing that because we know how much of a pain in the ass rebounding has been for our team in the past few years. 20 assists per game, which is awesome. I know Michael alluded to earlier, just getting space and finding the open guys. And then 6.7 blocks per game, which is 18th in the nation. So getting some better defense at the rim. Some really bad stats. Let's be very candid. 68.6% from free throw. That's going to bite us in the ass if we get into some close games. We have to shoot the free throw better. I mean, that UIndy game, I was at a wedding, but I was about to throw my phone into the ocean. I swear to God, I was getting so angry. In fact, the bride yelled at me because I was cussing as we were missing free throws. So that's how bad it was. And then we are having 14.3 turnovers per game too, 286th worst in the nation. So, definitely got to make sure that we're taking care of the ball and then making the free throws when we get to the line. But no, I agree with everything you guys said. And now we're kind of past those are going to be our three easiest games besides NJIT. So now we're heading into the bulk of our schedule. So we'll start looking forward a little bit here. Next up is SMU. We're going to break them down, but just so Butler Nation knows, we have SMU. After that, we play South Carolina and then Virginia before coming back home for a couple quote unquote bye games. But those teams are a little bit better, more competent. I think they're like 200 and I think Wright State's like 2 something. And I can't remember who's after that, Wright State. And
Wright State is 222, Eastern Michigan 215.
So much more respectable than like 340. So, they're going to be competent teams. And then, dang it, I only wrote up to that part. Whereas after that, Michael, keep writing it off.
The Boise State 44, Providence 69. UConn.
Boise State's the biggest fraudulent 50, or what did you say, 49?
Boise State 44, and then after UConn is Northwestern.
44 with that D2 loss. How nice. Hey, honestly, you know what? I'm not even mad about it because it helps our metrics out. So thank you, Boise, for not taking that D2 loss to your metrics. But okay, so looking at SMU. So big. So we're done with the easy stuff. Time to get real. Michael, I'll pass to you first. We're heading to SMU. Butler beat SMU in Hinkle last year, but these are new teams. Although there are some returning pieces for SMU, especially. Talked about SMU, what Butler can expect from that team.
Yeah, so I actually watched an SMU game today. I actually took notes. You can see it on this little sheet. I mean,
I can confirm that Michael is actually showing us a notebook full of notes, and I love that. All right.
The thing with them is really they're honestly a pretty simple scout. Just like for the guys, obviously, I'm not doing a full scout, but like really a lot of their offense is just Boopy Miller pick and rolls, 1-5 pick and rolls, which concerns me for our defense. Because their 5-man Samet Yigitoglu is also very good. Like he looked very good in this game. He much better than he was last year. Like that guy, he looks for real. 1-4, if they ever run a 1-4, 1-3 pick and roll, it's a pick and pop. They just pop, kick, and then try to get a mismatch and drive that. And they want to just literally just run. That is their entire offensive game plan. It's just run, and if they don't, it's a pick and roll with Boopy. Maybe BJ Edwards, maybe they run some dribble handoff, but for the most part, it's just Boopy pick and rolls. Like it's very simple. So key to this game for me, number one would be I'm not gonna cuss, get back on defense, because their offense in the half court is really simple. Boopy is really fast, so like it's gonna create some problems, but like all things considered, if you're able to get back on defense, you should be all right. They space the floor very well in transition, was something I noticed if I wanted to compliment them. And in passing lanes, they are super aggressive. The teams we've played have been pretty passive defensively and just kind of like let us do whatever. SMU is just going to be super aggressive in passing lanes. That if you want to find a backdoor cut, you're probably going to be pretty open there. And their defense, honestly, I wasn't impressed at all. They overhelp like crazy. And that was something we kind of torched against Chicago State. So that would be the things I'd notice there. They post Samet, you could tell they're big very well. Gamble a ton. They switch a lot of like the off-ball stuff, so I imagine they're going to do a lot of switching. So if they want to switch and give Michael Ajayi a mismatch, take advantage of that. Yeah, that would be the main thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not particularly impressed with this SMU team. I think this is a team that if we want to prove like we're for real and like a team that could legitimately compete at the top half of the Big East and maybe pretend like be a contender to be on the bubble later in the season, this is a game that at least I think you should look good in. If not, you should frankly win.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'll just add my one piece, which is, and I agree with you. Like, you need to be competitive in this. I always just get so scared of first true road games. I
Yeah.
don't care who the opponent is. I get terrified of first true road games, especially because even our exhibitions were at home. Like, we truly have not played a game away from Hinkle. So you look historically, even teams coming to Hinkle that we've beaten, like Kansas State when they were
Yep.
ranked like basically six. Texas Tech was really good the year we beat them. Like those first true road games are just really hard. You're shooting at a new hoop in a new place. The perception is different. So that is only the reason I'm a little bit pretty nervous about this Saturday. But Kyle, how about you, man? SMU, what you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I set myself up here with the last thing I said a little bit. I think that Boopy, I mean Murray State's a good team. We know that. I watched the Murray State game live. Um, didn't quite analyze it like Michael did, but watched it live. I with it along with another game. And Boopy just is not these first three games for them. He's playing slightly better, maybe, but similar types of competition that we've been playing. He's not been really challenged as far as getting pushed up on, making life difficult for him. He's their best player. He's what makes their offense go. It's apparent, like Michael said. So I set myself up for saying guys like Stink and Jalen, especially Stink, have been very aggressive defensively, and I think that's going to, if not make him uncomfortable, change the way they have to do things. And the way they have to do things has just been, like Michael said, easy pick and roll. It's there for you if you want it, and go off that. And just making it more difficult to get into those actions, I think, is going to, make them stress a little bit. And as far as just what to expect in the game, I know Butler's, I believe, like Guru said, I believe it was third in the nation in pace. SMU is, I think, top 20. I know there was a graphic out
Yeah,
on
they're
Twitter today.
15, 15.
15th, there you go. So Butler's been in high-paced games. And that's some of it been Butler's doing, but a lot of it been based on the opponents we're playing. So I think an advantage is we're used to teams that play at a fast pace, and seemingly for our first real test, that's not going to change because SMU plays pretty darn fast. So, environment we're somewhat comfortable in as far as playing fast. The one thing I will say as far as my key is we've had some turnovers this year so far that are you shouldn't have, like just kind of being careless a little bit. And frankly, they have not been punished for reasons either because the games aren't close or because the teams weren't good enough to punish them in the moment. SMU, despite Michael said, I agree, not being super impressed with them, they will be good enough to punish really crappy turnovers because they are a high major team and an ACC team. So they will punish really terrible turnovers. So we've got to work on those a little bit coming into this game. I think some of the turnovers that we've had in the past couple games won't fly in this one, frankly.
Yep, nope, I definitely agree with you on that. BFC, man, what you looking forward to for the SMU game?
I think that this could be a really good matchup for Finley, just kind of looking at the first three games from SMU where frankly they've gotten kind of torched by the lead scoring guard for whoever they played outside of it's like Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, which is kind of a wash. But Dior Johnson, who's playing for his 18th team in 4 years, he went for 24, playing for Tarleton State, and you knew he was shooting the ball. And then Murray State had Javon Jackson, who went for 26. I just really think that Finley's going to have some space, kind of like Michael talks about overhelping. I think he's going to get a lot of open shots. And if he gets going early, I think that you can kind of go through him and then let Ajayi kind of eat on the side for a little bit, not have to necessarily be, the number one option for the majority of the game, which I think would be big. Because if Michael Ajayi is kind of your number two option in an offense, I think that's really dangerous. I think he could kind of feast down low, but just kind of looking at how their defense is shaped up, especially against high volume guards, I really think that this is a Finley game. So I was happy to see him get hot early against Chicago State and kind of get some confidence back. Not that he's ever short on confidence, but after the first two games where he was, kind of the third, fourth option, I think this really shapes up for him, especially kind of going back home. He's going to have something to prove to a team like SMU. So yeah, I think that's kind of my big thing that I'm going to be looking for.
Yeah, it's kind of like for Finley, and then obviously Traore was at SMU last year, so kind of coming home for Finley back to Texas. Traore he's obviously from France, but did he live in Texas then after that? Is that where he knows Finley from?
Yeah, I thought they played on the same AAU team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
definitely did.
I
So
think we played AU together.
coming home of sorts, France, Texas, same thing. But so I will say, and I like that point, BFC. It'll be. I hope, and we know Finley always plays with passion. Like there's no doubt about Finley. Like you love it, right? You love to see it. Hope that you always just have to hope, like Pierre, for instance, when he went to Michigan State and gets that tech. Not that Finley will get a tech, but like you always have to hope you keep some of that emotion in check. Just so like we're not just launching. I mean, Finley can't hit those, but don't just start launching them from like everywhere. I know it's gonna be a homecoming. He's gonna have a bunch of fans there, I'm sure, and family there. So, but no, you're right. I think Finley can definitely open it up, and I was glad to see him hit those shots. One of the big things that I'm kind of curious about going into this game, Butler, that has been running rotations, man. Like he has not been shy on giving pretty much everyone time. And now, granted, we haven't played the best competition, but I'm very curious if that's going to roll over when we face like SMU and some of these high major teams. If he is going to, I mean, it's like hockey lineups. He's like straight up just like putting like 4 or 5 new guys in. And I love the depth. Don't get me wrong. I really do. But I'm kind of curious if he'll stick with certain players longer, let them get in the flow of the game at all, or if he plans on literally doing this kind of massive rotation thing. I'd be very curious to see how it goes. I mean, it's great from a endurance perspective, especially for a team like SMU who's going to run it. But at some point, I do feel like it might be nice to have some of the guys that you kind of expect to dominate to run for a little longer than some of the stuff, or some of the games previously. But no, I think all good points. Let's talk about maybe our predictions for this coming Saturday. I always love predictions. St. John's fans, close your ears. So Michael, I'll start with you. Give us your. If anyone that doesn't get that joke, we last year, 2 years ago, we said that we thought Butler would beat St. John's at St. John's, and I think we got St. John's fans found that. So it's like, all right, chill. It wasn't that big of a deal. But Michael, I'll pass to you first. Prediction for this Saturday, Butler versus SMU.
Yeah, I think I called that St. John's team unimpressive, and I got yelled at, and they didn't make the tournament. So yeah, very very impressive team that was. Yeah, great. Congratulations. But yeah, I don't know. I think one of the things I'd want to see Butler do in this game is kind of honestly, we were talking about how fast they've played the last couple of games. I want them to slow it down here because SMU's half court offense is really not good, and Boopy is so he might be the fastest player with the ball we're going to play all year. He is lightning fast. So if you're just able to kind of keep him in the half court, that takes away one of his advantages versus if you're pressing him full court and he's got an open space to work with, it's going to be beelines to the bucket. But I imagine the rest of you guys are going to pick a Butler win, so I'm going to do that as well. Give me Butler, why not? Let's have some fun. 74-72 Butler win because Finley banks in a three with zero point 0.2 seconds left and gets fouled.
Yes. All right, Kyle, how are you?
Yeah, I think it'll be a little slower paced than it's been so far for Butler games. I don't think that's a high bar. But yeah, I'm also gonna go with a Butler win. I guess not super convincingly. It's on the road. Like we've talked about first true road games. It's just so difficult. Like it's a really difficult thing to do. So I think it'll be a difficult game. I think if this was at Hinkle, I might have it more convincing. I'm gonna go 81-76 Butler.
All right, I like it. I like it. The 5-point spread. So those of you who follow KenPom just know that I'm expecting us to be about a 5-point dog-ish because usually KenPom is pretty close to like what the spreads end up being. And according to KenPom, we are about a 5-point dog. BFC, what do you got? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never new against the dogs. I know. I'm sure Chuck Harris will find this on Twitter and call us out if we lose. But I think 85-78 Butler. I think we do slow it down a little bit by our standards, but I just really think that our offense is gonna be able to hum.
All right, so I was gonna be the one to not, but I'm gonna pick Butler too. You know, because you guys convinced me. It was so your arguments were so convincing. I get super. It's not even that I don't think we're more talented or that any of that. I just hate first true road games. I think that they are just a miserable. They're just notoriously difficult to win. Like it is what it is. Even the team back in 2020, 23 to 24, who actually was like a respectable team. We were like a tournament team for most of the year. We went to Michigan State and got the shit beat out of us. Like DJ Davis couldn't hit an ocean if he tried to throw a rock into it. Like it was that bad. So I was getting nervous. Like I know like our offense, but you know what? You guys are right. What am I saying? I'm gonna go with 82 to you know what? I'm gonna go 82-74 dogs because we decide we're gonna make some free throws at the end, and that's what separates us. We decide, hey, you know what? We're going to lock in and we're going to make these free throws. Listen to me, dogs. Make your free throws. Make your free throws. If I keep saying it, I think one day they will. Let's add a couple random questions. Actually, you know what? Just one random thing here at the end, boys, and you're going to help me out. What is 6'7"?
Young people stuff.
Okay, so none of you know either.
Oh, I know
Good.
because I teach, so I know. But it's
What
incredible.
is it?
So it was in a song, and
Okay.
it was in a rap song, and now it's funny to the kids because it doesn't mean anything, and
Got it.
adults don't get it, so now it's funny to them because it doesn't mean anything.
So me and Dior probably have no idea what it means. Got it. Okay, so
Which is BS because 67 was my number growing up. Like my Discord thing is like whatever 67. My gamer tag Nacho Kid 67. Like my emails all end in 67. It was my number growing up. They stole it from me.
All right, now we're gonna go to the second part. Nacho Kid. Is that what you just said?
Yes, Nacho Kid 67. That's my gamer tag.
Give us the lore of Nacho Kid.
I like nachos. I was a kid. 67 was my number.
All right, I like it. That's good. All right, yeah, because I got called out on Twitter for commenting on it. I was trying to be cool, guys. Come on, I'm an old man. I'm just trying to stay young, hip. Don't do that to me. Don't put me in that position. But no. So again, guys, good start to the season, 3-0. You know, and BFC posted this. You cannot complain. You know, the schedule's been shit. That's fine. We know it's easy, but we've blown every team out, and that's all you can ask for. So, you know, big competition, big step up in competition coming up. But SMU, 2:00 this Saturday on the good old CW. Excited to watch our dogs finally play some real competition. Sad we don't get to see it in Hinkle right away. Sad we don't get to be in Hinkle again until after Thanksgiving, which is really sad. But yeah, big schedule coming up, and let's get some W's, let's get some wins. Big games coming up, especially because the Big East has looked like trash, and we need to collect some of these non-conference wins if we want to go dancing this year, because the conference is not going to help us. So let's take care of our own business. All right, so go Dogs, and everyone tune in on this Saturday.